Okay, welcome to the third tutorial in the Landscape Generator tutorial series. This tutorial is going to be on the detail object settings, the finish button, and the generator run on start script. So let's get started. Last time we generated the water and trees and the terrain details. So we're going to start with a fresh new canvas this time with a new procedural terrain. And by the way, I never said this in the first one, but you're going to want to have procedural terrain, the procedural terrain game object prefab selected if you want to use procedural terrain. Anyways, continuing on, the detail object settings start off with details. These are the detail objects you're going to want to have. And so we're going to pick out something special to try this with. You know what? Let's not try that with anything special. Let's just try it with a traditional object. Let's try it with the let's try it with the low poly sphere. Here we go. And if you get this null reference exception saying, hey, there's a problem at line 121 or line something something, make sure that you don't have any extra null places in your details or your terrain or anything, because then you're going to get this problem, okay? So, anyways, we're going to set the detail min, we're going to set these all to 1, because we have one object. Like I said, set that back. And that'll bring up the buttons again once you set that back. We're going to want to set these all to 1, because we have one object set there. But this supports as many as you want, so we're going to set procedural detail number to true, because we want to have a procedural number, so it will generate it for us. And we don't need the number of details then, so we're just going to leave that on 1. We're going to set the detail minimum to 0 and the detail max to 0. This means it can generate on the terrain anywhere, but not underwater unless we enable underwater. So I'll show you that in a second. So let's keep that on false, so there's no underwater details, and we're going to have the procedural detail minimum. Okay, that's everything, and we're going to want a couple detail iterations. So basically, I don't know if I described this here. No, I didn't. But it's in the manual. If I go over to the manual here. In the manual here, we will see that the detail iterations is, here's a whole long explanation of it. How many iterations of details the generator will generate? One iteration is for one type of detail object only. So basically, one iteration generates one type of detail, one of these game object prefabs everywhere, and then another one will generate another random one. And you could get 2 iterations or 5 iterations of the same detail, so keep that in mind. Let's generate 10 iterations to start out with, and we're going to generate details on a terrain. As you can see, there are a lot of spheres, and they aren't actually going under the water. Now they are going on the sand, but that's not where the water is. Remember, the water is not the sand height, it's the water height. So let's generate water. Oh yeah, I still have it on the nighttime one. So let's set that back to the one that comes with the demo here, and get rid of the nighttime water here, because we still have to scale that up. So now it's set back to the demo one. We're going to generate our water, and as you can see, none of them are actually underwater. They might be touching the water, but that's not under the water. So yeah, that works. It seems like that works. Yep. Okay. Now that that's all working fine, we are going to go to our details, and we're going to put it up to 30 detail iterations. Now we're going to see how many detail iterations, what detail iterations do. Yeah, see, there's more details now. So there is a ton of spheres, man. And these are all objects. You can actually edit them all individually and scale them up and do whatever you want with them. So that's cool, right? So now we have a ton of detail objects, and we're going to organize it a bit with the finish button now. But gotta get rid of our details first. Let's regenerate these just because I feel like it. I just generated more. Okay, let's say we have like this many. Let's just start out with this. So we have a ton of details, and we want to organize them, but we can't move them all at once. That's a crash Unity, right? It's going to freeze your system, and it's going to break everything. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to hit finish. Hit finish, it organizes it all for us very quickly, and now we have this landscape here. If we select that, it shows everything. Now be wary, it's going to lag a bit, so we're going to want to hit the down arrow. And this shows the trees, the terrain, the water, and the details. Now we don't have any trees or water, so it's not going to show us that. But we can find our terrain under the terrain tab. Our details are under the details tab. Look at that. Isn't that so nice? So that's great. But what we want to actually do is figure out what this run on start does, right? So, by the way, if you need any more information on anything, you can find it in the documentation manual here, and that'll show you everything you need to know right here. And it goes through how the trees work, and how the minimum and maximum work, to how the detail iterations work, and it tells you all this different stuff on how the buttons work. It's really nice. You should really check it out if you're going to use this and you're a first timer on this stuff. Also, I have a procedural terrain manual, and this shows you how procedural terrain is generated. So, let's go down to the generator run on start. This is very simple. So if you generate a terrain, you'd most likely generate it in the editor here, so when you play, I don't have this selected here, so let's regenerate it with the player at a random position. Regenerate it, and if we go to our player, yep, it's put it on the terrain right there, and there we are. So if we play it, we can see we're walking around our terrain here. Very nice terrain. Our specular, you can kind of see that. If we go down, you can see it on the sand. There's more specular on the sand. Is it shinier? Yep, that's what we wanted. Okay, so now what if we wanted to have it generate something new when we started the game? So say we don't want this here. So if we have generator run on start and the generator prefab object, so landscape generator object selected here. So if we just scroll down up, what you're gonna actually want to do is take your object and put it in here. You're gonna want to select run on start, and basically what this does is we have nothing here. Our player's just sitting in space where it was before. But if we play, it generates a whole new terrain. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. So basically, the generator run on start will just generate everything on start, and that's really neat. Now, if we're gonna want to have if we have generator run and start on, we're gonna want to have auto generate on if we want to generate everything. So see, that will generate everything for you. It'll have the water, it'll have the trees, it'll have the detail objects that we just have, the spheres. So that's really neat, and that should wrap it up for all 3 parts in the landscape generator tutorial series. I almost just fell off the train, and yeah. So I hope you learned something about how the generator works, and that should be it. So yeah, Hope you learned something, and see you in the next video.